Hey, what's up? It's another episode of Watch You Strappin. It's been a while, I've been pretty busy, but here it is again. These aren't watch reviews, just tongue-tied. Quick wristwatch check of the day, and today I am back on the Farer Universal Bernina Chronograph Sports, mechanical hand-wound only chronograph movement. It's been running really great, and today, sorry about the exposure, but I got this on a Griff Atelier. I think that's what it's called. It's got this little griffin here. That's their logo. I believe I gotta check. I'm pretty sure they're in France, possibly Belgium, or is it Italy? I'm pretty sure it's either France or Belgium, where they're based. They do custom straps. They have some that are pre-made, but then like something like this, it's kind of bund style. I've done a little. I've shown this one on a watch before, but it's been a while. But yeah, you put an order. They basically have these handmade, made to order, and so you just try to tell them as much as you can about the watch you're going to put this on, and like what's the brand, as much information so they can get some dimensions, make sure it fits and all that. I don't know how precisely they will do it, but then give them your wrist size as well, so they'll custom cut the all the pieces to best fit your supposed wrist size. I'm not sure how many, if it's really that precise, but it seems to work. I mean, I gave it a shot. I think these ran around, I want to say a little over 100, like 120, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, I'm not generally a fan of bund straps. They usually are, I can't show it with both hands here, but they usually are a little bit, um, you know, bit fussy in terms of like, well, you got, usually three pieces, right? You got this centerpiece that usually runs between your wrist and the watch case, and where the straps kind of run through, and they can run through differently. This is the way they do it here on this particular style. And um, and sometimes the way that a lot of the ones that are cut, they're a little bit too big. Like, I don't generally like so much pieces and large leathers on my wrist, especially if you don't have a particularly large wrist. I have a six, just I think this wrist has recently gone up a bit to maybe 7, but it was just like 6 and 7/8, or just, what was it, 5/16? I think it was 7/8. It's like right between 6 and 3/4 and 7. And recently I'm kind of sore, but it's kind of swollen up a little bit, and I think I'm up to maybe closer to 7. But anyways, yeah. I was saying that bun straps can just add a lot of visual weight to around your wrist, which people may not want, especially if the watch is maybe large already. Even if it isn't, it is a lot of leather pieces to try to consider putting on your wrist, and some people don't like that. And of course, it will raise the watch up a bit. And there's a certain thickness to that piece, especially I don't know what you call the center piece here. That that's the largest, I guess, wide piece. And a lot of times also the bun straps tend to bulge out, like the leather will come around the sides of the case, if you know what I mean. It's like they're trying to match the shape, but if it's somewhat off the shelf or generic bun strap, they're not going to know exactly what size your case is and what shape it is. I know probably it's going to be round, but there's it's not going to be a perfect match, so it'll probably be a bit large. And I don't actually like all that extra leather on the side myself. I went with this style because it was just straight, and it's actually not as wide as the case, as you can see. I kind of got this idea from looking at a watch that's been out for a while. It's from Oris. It's the 1914, or I don't know. It's like a early 1900 kind of reference, 1900, like as in the year, like World War I era type of year, like around 1914 to 17 or 16 or something like that. and I think it was a limited edition. It has basically it's a simple time-only watch. And it doesn't even have running seconds, actually. It has like cathedral hands. It looks pretty cool. Pretty small diameter. I think that one's only about 38, maybe 39 at most. And it comes with a bund strap option. I don't have the exact reference, but you may know what I'm talking about. It's basically kind of like a vintage pilot watch or something like that. And it has this weird, like a little pusher on the top, like where this pusher is, but it's not a chronograph. It's just it's a throwback design to basically when you push that would allow you to set the time. Like it was like a kind of safety feature so that you wouldn't accidentally rotate the crown and set the watch or something like that. I forget the exact story behind it. But anyways, going back to the bund strap, I noticed that when they had it on it, why did it look so good? And I actually got a chance to try one on the store before. And so not a store, but at actually a watch fair. Ours were at a worn and wound wind up fair, watch fair at in San Francisco a few years ago, and that's when I got to actually see one in person. And admittedly, the watch didn't impress me as much, but I always liked the bund strap that it was on because I was looking at why does this look actually work, and the reason is that it was kind of straight like this, straight cut. It didn't bulge out, and it was just straight and was smaller than a watch hand, so it didn't look as big. And also these leather pieces here, that main centerpiece, right? That layer there, it wasn't so big and like long that it like kind of went super close to around to almost touching each other, like from side to side or end to end. Um, it was actually on the shorter side, actually maybe even shorter than this, and that's what I liked about it. It was just like a really small kind of middle piece that wasn't so huge, and then and that's what I was looking for. And not too many people make something like that. And also the way that it attaches to here. I also wanted to make sure that actually I'm looking at the side of the cuts, where the slots are or openings where the strap goes through. That opening, like just basically, I want it as close to the edge of the bun, this middle piece as possible. I didn't want all this extra piece to the left and to the front or back of it. Just as small a centerpiece as possible, or panel. I guess you would call it a panel. And so I saw this, and this seemed to fit the bill. And what's also appealing about this too is that you might notice that the leather itself, that center panel, I guess, leather panel that's between the watch case and my wrist, is actually particularly thin. And I like that because that doesn't add nearly as much bulk as a lot of other bund straps are, which are, from what I've seen, they look at least double this. This is like basically almost like a millimeter or two thick. It's not even that thick, and I'm pretty sure the ones I've seen, they're almost as thick as this watch band, if you can see that. So it adds quite a bit. And so underneath, between your wrist and the watch case. So this is why I like this one. And it's just thin and keeps it low profile, and it's not also too wide. It's and so I think it helps balance out the watch on your wrist when you have it on. You don't have this huge piece of leather that's wrapped around your wrist, and it kind of sometimes dominates or competes with visual space with the watch, which I don't want. I just want it to complement it, right? Anyways, it's not supposed to be a review, but this is my long-winded explanation of why I chose a bund strap when I normally don't. And I kind of would recommend this. There's plenty of holes here. I don't even think it needs to be that big. If anything, I thought maybe it could use a few more holes going up this way to make it smaller, because you could, of course, wear this without that center like leather panel that's in between, and just wear the straps themselves, and they're pretty nice. And so if you do that, the size will run smaller. So you might need a couple extra holes to tighten it up better. The only thing to that is that what kind of don't like if you did that is that, you know, there's only this one keeper here. So it's okay to keep this on end here. This seems to work out all right. But if you can imagine, if you just tighten it, you're going to have this buckle over to this side more, and you have more space between that and the keeper. So the keeper should only probably keep at least the loose end down. So anything in the middle could possibly, you know, hang or kind of bow out a little bit. It's not as tight against the strap, so it could use a second keeper is what I'm saying if you did that. So anyways, I bought this to be on the to be this complete look anyways. I have plenty of like vintage style these stitchings here by themselves, so I don't need to actually take this apart. And it's kind of a bitch because it doesn't just slide out, at least not the side with the hardware, because they're not going to really fit through these cuts in the center panel, so you're going to have to undo it and then reattach them back on if you're going to take it off and just use the straps by themselves. The only thing I would say, I don't know if it's a downside, but you know, because the leather is thinner, the center panel, right, that leather panel is thinner than usual, which is good. Again, it keeps it low profile and it's actually more flexible and more comfortable. But like say the ends here, like there, and like on this side, you can kind of see from here, it will kind of flex a little bit out or more open. It's not, you know, it's not a big deal. There's not much of it. It's just mostly on this end, I would say, where it starts to, you know, taper or curve in at the ends. That's where it kind of, I don't know, I wouldn't say it lifts, but it sort of does. But really, it doesn't really show off that badly, you know. I suppose it's good this way. It's so you don't have the, you know, it gives your wrist a little bit more breathing space without having like the edges of that cuff, I guess, that center leather panel. If it was thicker, it would probably dig in slightly into your wrist anyways, you know, if you can imagine. But since it's thin and it's flexible and it actually starts to shape out a little bit, it gives you a little bit more room, which is fine. Anyways, excuse me, I gotta get going, and just give you a couple more angles on this. So that's pretty much it. I don't get a chance to wear this that often. Wait, no, from recently. I'm trying to keep my daily, most of the time for the weeks when I'm working, the straps I want to keep on something that's cleanable, you know, washable, and leather obviously is not going to be that. So this is on the weekend, so I'm going to put it on then and enjoy it. And then if I decide to keep this on for the rest of the week, which I do like to wear my chronographs from work as well, I'll probably put on something easier to clean, such as a rubber strap, or probably maybe a NATO, and those are easy to wash, right? It says nylon. I am waiting for a bracelet for this. They ran out, but they are said to be, they told me that they're making like a new version of it, so hopefully right around November, I think that's when they said they should have some back in. Can get this on a bracelet. I think it'll look pretty damn good. All right, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next later.